5 sons entered professional wrestling. None of them made it out alive. The Von Erich family was professional wrestling's most celebrated dynasty. Fritz Von Erich built an empire in Texas during the 1970s and 1980s. World-class championship wrestling, sold-out arenas, screaming crowds. 5 sons groomed from birth to carry the family name inside the ring. Jack Jr. was the first to go. He died at 6 years old before wrestling was even part of the story. Electrocuted in the family yard. Fritz buried his oldest son and kept building. David Von Erich was supposed to be the one. Charismatic, talented. The son the wrestling world was already calling a future world champion. In February 1984, David flew to Japan for a tour. He was 25 years old. He never came home. The official cause of death was acute enteritis, an intestinal condition. But people inside the industry whispered about something else. About a lifestyle the road produces in young men with too much fame and too little structure. The whispers were never confirmed. The family never addressed them publicly. David was gone, and the official story was the only story. Fritz Von Erich did not stop. He could not stop. The business was all he had. Mike Von Erich was never supposed to be a wrestler. He was quieter than his brothers, less physically imposing. But after David died, the pressure on the remaining sons intensified. Mike stepped into the ring to fill the gap his brother left. In 1985, Mike suffered a serious shoulder injury that led to toxic shock syndrome. The medical complications left him changed. People who knew him said he was never the same after that illness. The light behind his eyes had gone somewhere else. In April 1987, Mike Von Erich took his own life. He was 23 years old. Fritz kept going. Kerry Von Erich was the most decorated of the brothers. He won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. He performed in front of massive crowds. He was physically the most gifted Von Erich of all. What the crowds didn't know was that in 1986, Kerry had been involved in a motorcycle accident that resulted in the amputation of his right foot. WWE kept it hidden. Kerry performed for years with a prosthetic foot, while the company told no one. The secret was maintained so completely that most fans had no idea until after his death. In February 1993, Kerry Von Erich took his own life. He was 33 years old. Chris Von Erich was the youngest. He wanted to wrestle more than anything. He idolized his brothers, but he was smaller than all of them, and the physical demands of the industry were beyond what his body could sustain. He tried. He trained. He pushed himself in ways that people around him recognized as dangerous. In September 1991, Chris Von Erich took his own life. He was 21 years old. 4 sons gone. Fritz Von Erich outlived 4 of his 5 wrestling sons. He died in 1997 from brain cancer. Kevin Von Erich, the only surviving brother, has spoken publicly about the weight of being the last one standing. About a family that gave everything to professional wrestling and received tragedy in return. 5 sons entered the ring. 1 walked out. The Von Erich name still echoes through professional wrestling history, not just because of what they achieved, but because of what the industry took from them. The pressure, the expectations, the culture of silence around pain and addiction and mental health that professional wrestling has spent decades refusing to confront. Fritz Von Erich built a dynasty. Professional wrestling consumed it. And the last Von Erich standing has spent the rest of his life trying to understand how a family that loved the business so completely ended up paying a price that no championship could ever justify.